Hello, everybody. So, my name is Nashla, and I am doing this YouTube video because I am making a documentary of the countdown of when me and my family moved to Dallas, Texas. So, just a little bit about me. Um, Mind you, I am making this video before bed because this is really my only free time. Um, like I said, I am a mom of two. I have a 1 year old and 11-year old. I work full time during the week and I run a esthetician business on the weekend. And so my days are pretty much full. So right now it's the only time I have to record. And I really wanted to make this video because I felt led to do it. I felt like somebody else needed to hear my story and also be encouraged if they're feeling the same way about wanting to move to Dallas. So, um, 2 years ago, I felt the need and the urge to go back to Texas. So let me just give you guys some history on me. I am originally from Newark, New Jersey. I moved from New Jersey to Houston, Texas. And then from Houston, Texas, we moved to Washington State. That's where I reside now. And when I left Texas and moved here, I was crying because if you know Washington State, which is next to California, or if you know about Seattle and the Seahawks, you know that Washington is always rainy, it's cloudy, and it's just like a depressing state. Like, it's a beautiful evergreen state, but it was just not something I was used to. So it really took a toll on me, and it really caused me to fall into depression when I first moved to Washington. And I always told myself, because when I moved here, I was a minor at the time, so I always told myself that when I get the chance, I'm going to move back to Texas. So fast forward, here I am, 35 now. I almost forgot my age. I'm 35 now. I came to Washington when I was 16. So about 2 years ago, I kept feeling the urge to go back to Texas. And I'm like, at this time, I'm like, no, I'm established now. I'm older. I got a family. I have all my, support here in Washington. I'm like, no, it ain't happening. Like, it's always been in the back of my mind though, but I'm like, no, not right now. Now is not the perfect time. So 2 years go by and God is still knocking at the door. He's like, remember you're supposed to go back to Texas? And I'm just like, I don't know, God, I don't know. But it's just always there. So then God started giving me signs. I literally started talking to people who was from Texas. Like, I would meet random strangers and I would say, where are you from? They would say, oh, Texas. Or someone would just be driving in front of me and they have a license plate that said Texas. Or, I just kept hearing the word Texas, and it just kept on being in my atmosphere, right? And so I'm like, okay, God, obviously you are telling me this is where I need to move to. So in my mind, because I lived in Houston prior, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to go back to Houston. So I booked the ticket. Me and my kids took like a 4-day trip back to Houston, stayed in an Airbnb, rented a car, got to Houston. I'm like, nope. Instantly, I knew. Instantly, I'm like, nope, this is not where I need to be. Like, it wasn't the same. Of course, it wasn't the same because I left there when I was 16, but it wasn't the same from what I remembered. And I just did not get that feeling, like that instinct that that's where I was supposed to be. I even visited Katy in Houston, and some other parts of Houston, and I was just like, nope, this is not where I'm supposed to be. I even checked out some apartments when I was in Houston, and it just didn't work for me. So then I went back home. I'm like, dang, God, why would you tell me I need to move to Texas? And then when I go back to Texas, I didn't feel like that's where I needed to be. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go back home, go to work, live my life. Then I start hearing about Dallas. Hey! Everybody wants to move to Dallas, right? I know. So I started hearing about Dallas. And mind you, Dallas was never, ever in my mind. Like, I never even thought about Dallas. People was telling me, oh, you would like Dallas more. But I'm like, no, I think I would like Houston more. And so I was like, okay. So I started hearing about Dallas more, and I started doing my research and watching the YouTube videos like you guys are doing. now, and doing my research on Dallas. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of feeling Dallas. I started meeting a lot of people on my job who was from Dallas. Like, it was like God was lining up people in my path to tell me about Dallas. Um, like the neighborhoods there, the best neighborhoods to live in with a family, the schools, the jobs, just like everything. God was just like lining it up for me. So, maybe like I would say 6 months later, I decided to take a solo trip to Dallas. Y'all, as soon as I got there, I knew that's where I needed to be. I was like, oh my gosh. As soon as I got off the plane and I was at the airport, like it just hit me. Like I got that instinct that's where I needed to be. And so I was like, okay, God, I never felt like this in a long time. It's kind of scary. And I felt like it was my home as soon as I got there. And so, you guys ever get that feeling where you go, you search and you search for an apartment, and then you walk into that apartment or like a certain house that you want, and you know, like that feeling that you know that's the house or the apartment that you wanted? Want? Well, that's how I felt. So, um, before I got to Dallas, though, please keep this in mind. I did make a list of cities I wanted to tour. So some of the cities on my list was Plano. It was I was gonna say Katy. It was um, Plano, McKinney, Fort Worth, and I think Richardson. So when I got to Dallas, I stayed in a hotel. I rented a car. Um, and I went to go check out these cities that was on my list for Dallas, right? And so I drove through Plano. Sorry, my kids are still up in the background if you hear screaming, but I drove through Plano and I was just like, Plano's beautiful, McKinney's beautiful, but I'm like, this is beautiful, but I don't feel like this is where I need to be. And I'm very, very in tune with my instincts and hearing from God and just like knowing when something is right for me and when something isn't. And so as I'm leaving, I believe I was leaving Plano. I was driving because after you leave Plano, you like drive through Allen. Mind you, Allen was never on my list. So I drive through Allen and I see an apartment on my left hand side. And something's like, pull over and go to that apartment. And I'm like, that's not on my list, God. And it's like, pull over and just go. It's like, okay, I'm here in Dallas. What I got to lose? Just kill some time. Just go check it out. So I pull over and I go check out this apartment. And as soon as I went into the apartment, I had that instant feeling that this is where I need to be. And then the leasing agent and just like the environment of the apartment and where it was located and the schools and just everything about it was just like perfect, y'all. And even me and the leasing agent, we became friends. It's kind of funny because even after I left Dallas, we still continued to communicate. She actually, this is going to be in the next video, but I was actually approved for the apartment, but I had to postpone my trip. My big move. But we're going to talk about that in the next video because that's a long story. But anyways, I just felt led to be in that apartment. And I felt like that's where God was calling me to go. So after I got the confirmation, of course, I still went and looked at some other apartments the next day that I was in Dallas. But I had already knew that's where I needed to be. So I took the pamphlet home, put it on my vision board, and I'm like, we're going to Dallas. So when I get back home from Dallas, y'all, so many things hit me left and right. I had just quit my job and started running my esthetician business full time. This was in August. And so when I quit my job, I was sitting at work in a parking lot and I got robbed. I got robbed in broad daylight while sitting in my car. After that happened to me, then my grandma's health took a toll. It went really downhill. She was living with me at the time. And so her health just like dropped dramatically, like to the point where we had to put her in a home and her memory just she lost her memory, and it's just the whole sad situation. And then on top of all that, the person who robbed me in my car also tried to rob me twice in my house. So it was definitely a um 2021 summer into the fall was really rough for me. And it also was just like a punch in the face, because I'm like, okay, God, why would you have me quit my job? Why would you have me go to Dallas only to hit me with all these obstacles? And I know that when God has something greater for you, the test becomes stronger. And so after all that happened, I was like, okay, I am in no position financially or mentally to make a move right now. And I need all the support I can get. So I decided to change my move-in date to June of 2022. So this is where I am now. Today is now, what is today? It's nighttime. It is January 25th on a, what is it, Wednesday? Tuesday night. Um, and I just really wanted to document my process and like the steps that I'm going through to get me to back to Dallas. This time I have written down all my goals, all my expenses, how much I need to save. I highly encourage you, if you are a single mom and you're moving across state, I highly encourage you that you write your goals down. You write your short-term goal down. You write your long-term goals down. I have a whiteboard in my room. I'm going to show you guys this. So, hold on. Well, I'll have to take a picture of it. But I actually have a whiteboard in my room. And on my whiteboard, I have... Sorry, my lighting is so bad, y'all. I have Dallas expenses. So I have how much the apartment rent is. So for me, like, I want to move down there with at least 3 times the amount of the rent. So I did my calculations for how much it would be for 3 times of the rent. Then I have daycare. So when I moved there, I know that I'm not going to probably qualify for public assistance with daycare. So I'm saving now for daycare. I'm saving up 3 months in advance for daycare expenses. Another thing that I have on my list is plane tickets to fly my family to Dallas. How much it would be to ship my car. I also have on there expenses for groceries, storage fee if I want to put stuff in storage when I leave Washington State. I also have how much I want to have for my spending amount. And I just really got really detailed with my goals, and I set dates next to them because I want to make sure that when I move down there with my family and my 2 kids, that I'm financially stable and that I am fully prepared and aware of what's going to happen. And I like things to be in order. I like to know what's going to happen. I like to be in control. So if something is out of my control, it really makes me feel bad. Like so I'm a Leo. So I like to have control, y'all. And so yeah, I wrote down all my Dallas expenses. I wrote down all my goals. I even watch Dallas videos constantly just to keep my eyes on the prize. I have sticky notes in my car that says, remember the assignment. I know that God is calling me to Dallas. Oh, that's another thing. So I know that God is calling me to Dallas. I'm not sure what it's for yet. Sorry, I'm not sure what it's for yet, but I do know He has a goal in mind for me, and I'm just trusting the process. I am afraid of the unknown. I am afraid of failing, but I'm also eager to go, if that makes sense. And I just been getting hit left and right. And so today marks the first day of my video of moving to Dallas. I can't wait. I'm excited, nervous. Also, I just got confirmation that my boyfriend will be helping me drive down to Dallas. So that actually saves some money in my pocket. But I can't really explain to you guys why I want to move to Dallas. It's just I have this feeling like in my heart, in my mind, in my gut that I'm supposed to be there. And I've been also praying and asking God for some things of when I do get there, like that maybe my business will expand more than what it is now, and just like opportunities and open doors. And so you guys will be hearing from me soon on part two of me moving to Dallas and preparing, and just, all the steps and the process that it takes to move me and my kids there. All right, so you guys have a lovely night. Talk to you soon.